So welcome back to the channel everyone, Triple M here. Today's video we're doing a side-by-side comparison between two of the most popular or anticipated streaming devices for 2024. We're comparing the new Google TV Streamer 4K and the ONN 4K Streaming Pro. Both devices are two of the best devices that's currently available. Both are going to run similar operating system, but there's some key differences that you should know about. So today we're going to compare both of these devices, the hardware, the internals, as well as the remotes, and in the end, of course, I'll let you know which one I think is worth your money. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So let's start with the hardware, and we'll start with the new Google TV Streamer 4K. Now this is a brand new device. Like I said, it is a really drastic change from what we've seen from the previous model, what we've seen with the Google Chromecast, but I actually do like this design. This is of course meant to be displayed so you can put it in your entertainment system, and it's meant not to be tucked behind the television like the previous device. Now as far as the material, on the bottom is going to be a completely rubber footing, nothing in the front, no indicators, no LEDs, and everything else is going to be in the back. Now on the back we're going to have LED, we're going to have the Find My Remote button, and this is what it sounds like. And of course, just to stop it, you just press any button on your remote. We also have a USB-C that is used for power, but also you can use an OTG adapter to add a USB drive to it. Next to that, we're going to have the LAN port. This is going to be a Gigabit Ethernet port, so you should be able to get speeds up to 1 gigabit on this port. And last thing that we have on this is your HDMI 2.0 port, which supports 4K up to 60 frames per second. Again, nice sleek looking device, and I think it will look good in any space. As far as the colors, this is going to come in two colors. You're going to have a hazel and you're going to have a porcelain, so two choices here, and I myself, I do prefer the hazel. Over to the ONN 4K Streaming Pro. Now this of course is really a drastic and improvement what we saw over the last ONN device. Now on top of the ONN, we're going to have a mesh which does hide some LEDs for your volume control as well as your Google Assistant. So one key difference is that this does have Google Assistant built in, guys, where it does have a speaker where you can do certain things, certain functions, but it is somewhat limited. On the bottom, we're going to have a rubber legging, of course. Now on the front, we're going to have the Find My Remote button. So press that button and this is what you're going to hear. And of course, press any button on the remote to cancel it. Now on the side, remember this does have a Google Assistant like I said, but it does have a mute option. So all you have to do is flip it to the side and it will no longer listen to you. Happy that that's included. Now on the way to the back, we're going to have a reset button. We have a 100 megabit per second LAN, so a lot slower than what we're getting on the new Google TV Streamer 4K. We also have an HDMI 2.1 port, USB 3.0 port. Again, this has an additional port. Remember that the Google TV only has one USB-C, but this also has a separate USB port that you can use to add storage. And last but not least, you have your power port. Now both devices are going to look good in any space. As far as just the bare ports, two differences to take away is that the ONN 4K Streaming Pro does have an extra USB port for you to use for your drives and whatnot. However, the Google TV has Gigabit Ethernet. That's going to give you a lot better speeds. Let me know what you guys think. Which one of these is more important? Do you prefer Gigabit Ethernet or do you prefer Google Assistant as well as the extra USB port? Now over to the remote controls, and I actually like both of these remote controls, but I'll let you guys know what my preference is here in a little bit. So on the 4K Streaming Pro, we do have the power button, we have favorites up top, we have a profile button, Google Assistants. We can also get to our settings, our navigation, back, home, TV button for your live TV section, volume up and down, mute, channel up and down, and then you have some dedicated buttons. You have YouTube, Netflix, Disney Plus, as well as Paramount Plus. Now, ONN does have two versions of this remote. So this version doesn't have the backlight and it doesn't have the dedicated TV button. Now over to the Google remote. So again, similar to what we saw with the first Chromecast, we have a navigation up top, back, home, we have our mic button or our Google Assistant, volume up and down, we have the mute, dedicated YouTube button, dedicated Netflix, and then we do have the power and we do have favorites. Now both of these are going to have the option where you can go ahead and bookmark certain things, your applications or whatever, but when it comes to the remote, this is going to be a tough one. Personally, I prefer the Google remote. ONN remote isn't bad. As far as the size, the ONN remote is a little bit larger. Both use AAA batteries, but definitely up to you. And let me know which remote you guys are feeling a little bit better in the comment section. So let's jump into the price. As far as the price, guys, on 4K Streaming Pro is $49 and the Google TV Streamer 4K is $99. So keep that in mind. I'll let you guys know what I think towards the end of this video. So let's jump into some of the specifications. Both are going to have 4K UHD at 60 frames per second. As far as the CPUs, both are going to have a quad-core ARM Cortex A55 GPU. The Google TV is going to have a PowerVR Rogue GE9215. And on 4K Streaming Pro is going to have a Mali G31 MP2. Very similar there as far as display. I don't notice a difference, but let me know what you guys think if you notice a display difference in the comments. As far as the RAM and storage, the Google TV is going to have 4 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of storage, while the on 4K Streaming Pro is going to have 3 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of storage. So we'll get into the benchmark here in a little bit and we'll kind of see who wins. As far as the video format, the Google TV is going to have Dolby Vision, HDR10, HDR10 Plus, and HLG, while the on 4K Streaming Pro is going to have Dolby Vision. As far as the audio formats, Google TV is going to have Dolby Digital, Dolby Digital Plus, and Dolby Atmos, while the on 4K Streaming Pro is going to have Dolby Atmos. So keep that in mind. Ready to talk about the Ethernet, guys? Google TV is going to have Gigabit Ethernet, which is going to be a lot faster than the 100 megabits on the on 4K Streaming Pro. Wi-Fi is going to be a winner for the on 4K Pro. So Google TV comes with Wi-Fi 5, guys, at 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, while the on 4K Streaming Pro comes with Wi-Fi 6 at 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, and this is going to be 802.11.ax. So Wi-Fi 6 is going to give you better coverage, it's going to give you better speeds overall. So that's something to take away as well. Not sure why Google didn't throw Wi-Fi 6 into this device, but I guess with the Gigabit Ethernet, they figured that won't be necessary, and both devices are going to have Bluetooth 5.1. As far as the operating systems, this is going to be almost identical. Both are very snappy. Both are going to be running Google TV. Both are going to have same exact user interface, same layout, and both are going to do the same things when it comes to the looks, feels, as well as the menus. Both devices, again, are going to allow you to install third-party applications. I've tested both of them, so that shouldn't be a deciding factor between either one of them. As far as the streaming, again, both are going to give you great picture quality, snappy. I didn't experience any freezing streaming 4K video or playing 4K video, so that's something to keep in mind. And again, I don't see a difference between them. Now over to the benchmark, the Google TV streamer scores a 639 on the benchmark, while the on 4K Streaming Pro scored a 584. Now this can be attributed to the actual RAM addition. Remember, 4 gigs versus 3, that could be the difference. But again, with these scores being so similar, I don't really notice a performance difference between the two. But just keep in mind that as far as the score, the Google TV scores a little bit higher. So the Wi-Fi speed test, there's going to be an improvement on the actual on 4K Streaming Pro attributed to the Wi-Fi 6 capabilities. And when it comes to Ethernet, the Google TV is going to dominate as far as the speeds. Now, if you wanted to get higher speeds via Ethernet on what you can do is use a USB to Ethernet adapter, and you'll actually get faster speeds than you do from the actual built-in port. That's one thing to take away. And last but not least, gaming. Gaming is going to be similar on both. It's not going to be a game-heavy machine like the NVIDIA Shield, but it can do some light gaming. There's some cool games on the Play Store you can download and play on both devices, and you shouldn't experience any issue. Now let's go over the pros and cons, and let's start with the Google TV. Pros for the Google TV is that it does have Gigabit Ethernet. However, cons is that it's missing a USB port and the price is double what you'll pay for the on 4K Streaming Pro. Pros and cons for the on 4K Streaming Pro is going to be almost opposite. So you're going to have a Google Assistant, wireless built in. You're going to have USB port there. The price is going to be half of the Google TV. And again, both devices are going to perform similarly. So picking a winner for this wasn't too hard of a decision. What it came down for me is the actual price. For me, there's no way to justify paying double for the Google TV. Winner for this is the on 4K Streaming Pro, and the price has a lot to do with it. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Which one of these devices would you go for? Do you agree with my assessment that the on 4K Streaming Pro is just a better value for your money? Of course, I'll be leaving links to both in the description. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, smash the notification bell. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.